Chris here, Beyond Games, not Biz. I'm talking today to Tony Pearce, a bit of a games industry legend, who's currently at Reality Gaming Group, but he's done a lot in his very few years in the games industry. So Tony, tell us. I know you, of course. I've known you for a long time, but for people that might not be watching this but might not know, give us a bit of a potted history of what you've done in the games industry so far.
Yeah, well, firstly, thanks for the opportunity, Chris. I've known you for a long time, and Beyond Games, I find absolutely fascinating and very happy to be a partner. But, I go back 25 years into games. I started back when it was Amiga, and then Sega and Nintendo, and then very early PlayStation 1. In fact, the company that I was working for then had one of the first, out of the first 10 PlayStation 1 releases, we had one of them. So really early on with those guys. And then I moved into mobile gaming before mobile games really existed. Yeah. We were doing texting games on black and white handsets. And then brought, Java and Brew, and then into social gaming with Facebook, and now into blockchain games. So actually, I think, my life in games has crossed many different platforms, and that's what I find so exciting. And I love to be at the beginning of a new platform cycle, and that whether that's been from console into mobile, into social gaming, into blockchain gaming. I love being at the beginning, and if you believe that platform's gonna emerge as a winner in the next 5 years, it's great to be at the beginning, because you're kind of making it up as you go along, and everyone else is coming in with you. And it's independence, by the way. I love the fact that we've always been an independent studio, because it's us that make the market, right? It's us that have to create something that hasn't been done before. And when we started Reality Gaming Group, that was in 2017. If I mentioned the word blockchain to anyone, they were like glazed over. In fact, I didn't mention the word NFT, because NFT didn't even exist then, and yet we were tokenizing in-game items. The word NFT only really started to be talked about 2 years ago, and it's only in the last 3 months, because of all the press, that everybody's suddenly gone, oh, that's what you've been talking about. That's what an NFT is. So anyway,
you've segued brilliantly into our second question. You've answered most of it, I think. Okay. But what we like to ask is what are you working on, and how specifically are you pushing the industry forward? It sounds like you've always been there, to say, the early days, and been part of that kind of vanguard of companies that are defining the rules and pushing the industry forward. So what would you say? I mean, as you say, you're obviously in NFTs and the blockchain space. What is there anything else exciting you do? What would you say that the business you're working in, Reality Gaming Group, is doing to push the industry forward and beyond, to the frontiers, I guess, of games industry?
Well, let's go back to 2017 when we started Reality Gaming Group. The idea, I started it with my co-founder Morten Rongard. He's Danish. He actually he came over to the UK and approached us with a game idea, and that the idea was to create an augmented reality combat game. So think mobile combat games. So think Pokemon Go meets Call of Duty, and that game became Reality Clash. So he came up with the idea. We loved it, and we went and raised money to make that game. We raised money through actually doing an ICO back in the early 17. So again, we were one of the first. I think we were the first mobile games company to successfully do an ICO. Basically, what that meant was we created our own token, and our token was called Reality Clash Coin, an RCC token, and people bought that token with Bitcoins or Ether, and we swapped one for the other, and that's how we raised money initially to fund Reality Clash. But by raising money through cryptocurrency and through creating our own token, suddenly we entered the world of blockchain. So it was kind of accidental, to be honest. That was just the way that we raised the cash. And now, by having our own token, we thought, how can we give the investors of that token something that was really different and really cool? And we thought, how about tokenizing the in-game items, and in this case they were guns that you used in the game, and making them limited edition and scarce and rare, and tokenizing those and logging them on a decentralized database called the blockchain. And we gave our ICO investors a whole load of these guns as an addition for fun, because they might go up in value. But while we were building that and coming up with that idea, it suddenly occurred to us, this is such a cool idea. The fact that players have the option of either buying an in-app purchase through the App Store, a non-tradable gun, if you want to call it that, or coming to our website and buying a tokenized independent gun, which you can trade with your friends or download and use in the game. And then when you're finished with it, take it out the game and sell it. Right. And that idea was hugely compelling. And the only way that idea could work was because of the blockchain, because that is the independent database, the decentralized database that's logging all this. And therefore, it's not our games database. It's not our account. So off we went and we did this. And we launched a mobile game that had what are now known as NFTs in it separately. And you know, it was really difficult to sell that concept to the user because they didn't realize you could do this. And now, fast forward 3 years, the game's doing fantastically well, and people are buying and selling and trading these weapons. Now they're understanding that once they buy something in our game, they actually own it. And so by creating that, inventing that, we're now, you know, a leader in building games that integrate NFTs and blockchain technology, and we now have four games out right now, and a whole roadmap of new products coming out for the next couple of years. All of those having NFTs involved. So yeah, it's been fascinating last couple of years.
And obviously, as you say, you started off. It was a game. It was you know, you had a lot of different frontiers there. You had AR tech and virtual tokens and an economy. But now, as you say, that the products you're launching now, you obviously have been working with BBC on the Doctor Who NFT. So it is still gaming, but you're moving quite a few different kind of directions. That's obviously a very big brand to partner with.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, what a fantastic deal, and you know how cool it was that the BBC got involved in such new technology so early, right? So you know, this was a great idea that we pitched to the BBC about creating a Doctor Who trading card game, but every card is an NFT and it's tokenized on the blockchain. So when you buy one of the trading cards from us, you own it, right? And you can go and sell it to your friends or trade it in our marketplace. So that's what makes it different. So the game itself is like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone. You know, you buy trading cards, digital trading cards in our way, and some have rarity, some aren't so rare, and they come with over 60 years of you know, Doctor Who characters. So the depth in it is fantastic. You know, it's beautiful. But the way blockchain games work is almost back to front to the way the normal games industry works. So let me just explain that. So with blockchain games, what tends to happen is the game's publisher will launch and sell the in-game items before the game comes out.
Yeah.
And they do that for a couple of reasons. One is, and what we wanted to do was get the hype and build the community. Get people coming in, buying these cards, having some fun in creating their decks, finding what they're missing, going and buying, you know, the odd card from the marketplace, finding that they've got something really rare and selling it, and in some cases making money, and building that hype and community. I mean, our Discord channel has thousands of users that are just you know, as soon as they get a good card, they're straight on it. There's pictures. Wow, look at this. Look how much. Look how cool this is. So all of this is happening before the game comes out. So you're building this hype, and then you're giving some small information about the game, then more and more. And in this case, our game, the actual game launches in October this year. So, you know, since we launched selling the packs of cards in January, we've now sold over 40,000 packs. We've tokenized nearly 500,000 cards on the blockchain. Okay. Now, over 500,000 cards have been tokenized, where people are now making their decks or trading them before the game even comes out. And the marketplace, you know, is on fire, you know. And it's interesting with our marketplace, you know, cards can sell for as little as 50 cents. Yeah. But we've had cards sell for $4,000. You know, so it's not about, you know, only rich people can play this. You know, there's lots of cards selling for $1 here, $1 there. But just to make it clear, the NFT part is just one part of the game. The game itself is a free-to-play trading card game. We also give you non-tradable cards. It's a bit like Reality Clash. You get the non-tradable standard cards, or you can go and purchase the limited edition NFT cards. So you don't have to go through all this if you don't want to, and that's a key part.
No, it's really fascinating. Is there anything else? So talks about a reality kind of clash of the game, and then Doctor Who. Is there anything exciting you've got you're working at the moment? You can talk about any new products.
Yeah, loads. So we have 2 other games that are in what we call that pre-sale, where we're selling the in-game items now for the game to come out in the future. One of them is Smitey's Universe, and Smitey's is owned by a US entertainment company called Herotainment. Smitey's is a well-established cartoon series in the US and Asia, hugely popular there. And they're on YouTube streams, average 40 million on the streams. 2 mobile phone games, 4 million combined downloads. So it has a following. We've now taken it to the next level, and Smitey's has 137 beautifully hand-drawn cartoon characters. We've tokenized those into NFTs. Those are being sold now, and kids are trading them and playing around with them, and the game comes out later this year. Cool. We've also done a deal with Joy Pixels, who are the world's largest creators of official emojis. So you got your smiley face on your phone, it's probably come from them. And we've created tokenized limited edition brand new emojis. They're really fun. We've got a picture of Satoshi as a Bitcoin and this kind of stuff. And they're being traded, and each emoji comes with its own attributes. So one will be a good fighter, one will be a good defender, and we're looking to make a Clash Royale game. And all of this, these fun stuff coming through. But what's happened is, by building these games, we've got better and better, and we've created a platform called DAT, which stands for Digital Asset Trading Platform. And this is a platform that helps us to tokenize in-game items, or any item. So it could be this physical pen. It could be, we're tokenizing music now, and we're tokenizing art, right? So we have a system that can do that. So if anyone wants their stuff tokenized, we can do it. Our platform
people do want it. There's a lot of people, brands wanting to play in this business, right?
And our platform not only can do that, it can then create you a store where you can sell those NFTs. Then we can create you a trading market platform where your NFTs can be sold. And then if you want, we can create you a game. So we have this end-to-end solution from our DAT business. And then we have our publishing business, Reality Studios, which is where we go to the BBC, we license Doctor Who, and we fund and create a game, and they get a royalty. Classic publishing deal. But the great thing about NFTs is you will always, forever, get a revenue share, because once we sell it, it's tokenized with a smart contract, which follows that NFT around for life. So even if someone goes and sells it on my trading platform or a third-party platform, like an eBay for digital goods, and there's hundreds of these appearing, every time it gets sold, I get a kickback, because that's in the smart contract. So my secondary sales revenue will continue for life, and so will that royalty back to the BBC or back to the so it's not just a one-off. This is forever. So the whole blockchain part is hugely fascinating, not just for new incremental revenue, but also for the way gamers will play. And this, Chris, is the game changer, because why would a gamer play a game where when they finished with it, they just leave all their stuff in the game and they will never see it again? But they might have spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to get to where they are, but they finished it and there's nothing they can do now. What happens if you have a game that's exactly the same, where you finished it and you can take your items out and then sell them to your friends and make your money back, or take them into another game? And this is where the interoperability of NFTs happens.
It's great.
Trust me, it will happen. Trust me. And I think any games company now has to look at that, because the more games that come out and the more that gamers start to understand that they can actually sell their in-game items, they're going to use that game, right? Why would they use the one where they spent it and they never get their money back? So it will happen.
I can see that, and I think you're seeing at the moment. I know that John Jordan is also part of the Young Games team. He's a big advocate, and he has been we launched Blockchain Gamer. We were around making events about blockchain and we're doing that again, reanimating all that, and continue to follow that. But I know he's been very championing recently. There's a lot of companies dropping in and investing in this space. A lot of regular games companies are now getting on board, and I think well, hopefully that's good for everybody. But I think that the people that are that weren't sure about blockchain before, I think that certainly seems to be changing.
Yeah, but these non-believers, right? I go back to me being in games for so long. No one believed mobile phone games would work.
Exactly. Yeah.
When I moved from console into mobile phone games, where it was black and white handsets, people laughed. Said no one's going to play games on a little screen. Guess what happened? And then when free to play started, that's never going to work as a business model. How can you give away a game? Everyone laughed, right? Then Facebook came out. Everyone laughed at that. Now blockchain games come out. Everyone's laughing. These non-believers will start believing when the gamers start going, I'm not playing that game anymore because this one does it. And trust me, it will happen. And it'll happen faster than you think, because I've never seen a marketplace take off so fast when I compare it to mobile gaming and social gaming. That was and then the hockey stick, right? Blockchain games, literally, and it's flying. Really need to get going. Yeah.
I'm going to step back a little bit. And sort of, there's a few kind of questions we're asking all our visionary people, and I'd like your take on it. You can keep it short or to the point. One of the questions I've got here is about the metaverse. We're talking about the future of games, and metaverse is a thing that's thrown about, and some people talk about NFTs being part of that metaverse, persistent items and stuff. What does a metaverse mean to you? How do you what are the key parts of a metaverse? Do you believe in the metaverse, or is it what's your take?
Yeah, I 100% believe in it. I think the metaverses will be massive. I think the issue will be if there's too many and too much of a choice. But no, I think it's going to be absolutely huge. I mean, it goes back to Ready Player One. It goes back to putting the VR and entering into a new world. It's going to happen, and you're seeing it with metaverses in blockchain, for instance, Decentraland and the Sandbox. We as a games company have bought land in those metaverses, right? So when you are in them walking around, you're going to see the Reality Gaming Group office, big sign outside. You walk in and you're going to see me, that's going to put you off, as an avatar introducing and showing you our games which you can play in our virtual office, right? So even as a B2B way of promoting our brand to consumers, I think it's fantastic. And then I could create a metaverse, like for instance with Doctor Who, and we can create a Doctor Who world where you can buy land and create your museum and show off your Doctor Who NFTs. So everyone can walk in and see your cards, and you can then trade them inside the virtual building in this virtual metaverse. Right? And I'm a big believer in it, and I think adding NFTs where you can actually start haggling inside these places. I love it. It's great.
Okay. We hear about beyond games, and we're talking about experiences which you're involved in creating, where the games industry meets other industries. You talked about brands like Smitey's and obviously Doctor Who and stuff. Do you have any kind of favorite beyond games experiences, like experiences you've seen elsewhere that other people create, or things you've created that really show off this connectivity between the games industry and other industries?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep harping back to blockchain and NFTs because that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm so excited about. But we're tokenizing in-game items, but actually we're also tokenizing music, and we're tokenizing artwork. All of those can be used in games, right? All of the, you could start trading sound effects that people bring in, and artwork is what's really taken off in terms of the press lately. I think mostly because of the unbelievably obscene prices, but it's at least getting it to the mass market. But we're talking to brands now where we are creating NFTs and selling. They call them NFT drops, which means that this new bit of artwork will be released at this time on this day in this particular marketplace, And we've just announced a huge deal with Floyd Mayweather, and we're doing his exclusive NFT drop for his new fight at the beginning of June with Logan Paul. So it's going to be massive. I mean, you've got Floyd Mayweather. He's the 5th highest paid sports star in the world, right? And we're doing it's called the Mayweather Legacy NFTs. So it's nothing to do with the fight, but we're promoting it around the fight.
Yeah.
But it's from him as a kid being, his dad was in prison, his mother was a drug addict, he had no schooling, so from nothing he went from that to becoming a megastar through just hard work and passion. And funny enough, talking to the Mayweather team and stuff about this, now he actually stayed away from sponsors. He doesn't have a Nike or a Reebok or anything like that. He's done the odd deal with watches and stuff, but he could have made 50 times more. But he wanted to prove himself in the ring, and therefore he shows off that bling because he's going, I did it from nothing, right? So we're creating this legacy story of these NFTs, which will eventually could be played in a game. Now they won't be in the drop, but what I'm saying is you're looking at something that initially starts off as a standalone product, that then because you own it, we can then, and we know the smart contract around it, we can then build it out to go, you know what, if you owned this Mayweather item from his NFT drop, in the future we're going to make a game where you can put that in and use it in something else. So it's just a whole fascinating new way of looking at how content and the owners of that content can use it in different games and just different ways in the future.
No, it's great. You mentioned, obviously this is going to segue here. Mayweather, very inspiring character, and I like, I like this idea of kind of not just going from a sporting moment, but kind of a sporting legacy of individuals, and making kind of virtual trading cards or what have you around their life. That's a fascinating idea. But he's an inspiring character. Are there anybody that's inspired you, particularly in the industry in your time? What's that?
You.
apart from me, I'm very.
Actually, do you know what? No, no. Actually, you do inspire me. You are again an entrepreneur that started Pocket Gamer up against some serious competition.
Yeah.
And have put your time, effort, and passion into now making Pocket Gamer the biggest event or events over the year. So I'm not joking. I think what you've done is incredible in a very, very hard market, right? So you're one of those.
I like that. That wasn't staged, but I like that.
I generally always extremely impressed by you guys, and actually my team, right? Now, everyone I've worked with, even going back to Player X days, if you remember them, we were 2 people, right, that turned that company into 110 people, offices all around the world, and from nothing. And that was because the people that we worked with were better than me, so they all inspire me, and passionate, and made it happen. So it's the team around you that I love, and finding those people is really hard, and therefore once you've got them and they're loyal and stay with you, they're people that I inspire to.
That's a good question. And why did you? I've got 2 more questions. Why did you choose to get involved in this? Why is Beyond Games? What's that?
So once again, always want to support something from the beginning.
I appreciate that.
But what I like about it is it's not another games website, right? Yeah. You're trying to do something that I like, which is think about the future, and it's thinking about how you can look at future trends, how you can look at all the different layers of entertainment, whether it's acting, music, gaming, all now really coming together, right? Yeah. And that's what's happening right now. Everything is converging, right? Nothing's separated. I mean, music and games and movies were one time very
siloed,
very siloed. Now they're all coming together, and there isn't a a site or an event that does that right now. There's movie events and there's games events and there's music events, but I think what Beyond Game does is what I find interesting is that you're now bringing that all together, and you're bringing you're bringing in people from all of these industries that perhaps I haven't met, that I want to meet, because that's where our products are going.
Yeah, I know, we're trying to do that. And segueing from that, the final question really is looking ahead. You know, that's what we're doing. That's what you're doing. Where do you see the games and game-related entertainment space in say 5 to 10 years or even 20 years from now? What's your, give us a couple of random visions, I guess.
Yeah, well, I think VR will come back. I think they're coming to glasses. AR, VR will start to happen. That metaverse style will start to happen. You'll start to walk into a new world very quickly. Flick a switch, and you're now in a new world. And ownership, right? The games market has worked in a way that actually no one owns anything apart from the games company, and that's wrong, right? Why should I spend thousands of pounds on something where if that games company goes bust, I lose everything? Or if they decide to turn this game off, I lose everything. It's like, take Topshop, for instance. I walk into Topshop, I buy a shirt. Guess what? That shop went bust 2 months ago. I walk down the street, my shirt disappears. That's the physical example.
That would be kind of utterly brilliant if that happened, right. Actually.
But that's the way it is, and that has to change, and it's changing because the blockchain allows you to do that, because it's logged on a decentralized database, not a centralized database owned by the games company. Big games changer, and that's exciting.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Tony. That was great. I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more for you on our site as we go ahead. And yeah, I'm really fascinated to hear more and see more about how this NFT blockchain game space evolves. Thank you for your time today. Talk to you soon.
Great. Thanks, Chris.